The Ministry of Justice has been inundated with complaints of alleged bullying by Justice Secretary Dominic Raab, BBC Newsnight has been told. Mr. Raab, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, is already facing an investigation into 2 complaints made about his conduct. However, the BBC has learned some of his ex-colleagues want the inquiry to be widened to include new complaints. Mr. Raab has denied any allegations of bullying. He has insisted he behaved professionally at all times and that he looks forward to dealing with the complaints transparently rather than dealing with anonymous comments in the media. Mr. Raab is a close ally of Rishi Sunak, and Downing Street has said he has the PM's full confidence. Earlier this week, Mr. Raab asked Mr. Sunak to launch an inquiry into his conduct after allegations about his behavior towards staff. The government-appointed lawyer Adam Talley KC to establish the specific facts about 2 formal complaints that have been lodged about Mr. Raab's conduct when he was Foreign Secretary and Justice Secretary, during Boris Johnson's premiership. The lawyer will report to Mr. Sunak, who will make the final judgment on whether Mr. Raab's conduct breached the ministerial code. But scope of the inquiry could be widened at the discretion of the Prime Minister, in consultation with the investigator, according to the terms of reference. Mr. Raab was sacked as Justice Secretary and Deputy Prime Minister by former PM Liz Truss when she took power in September. But the Esher and Walton MP was reappointed to both roles by Mr. Sunak following his election as Conservative leader by the party's MPs. There is now a coordinated effort by former private secretaries of Mr. Raab to ensure their allegations are heard as part of the investigation. Private secretaries work in the private office of government ministers on the day-to-day running of the department, including managing the minister's diary and advising on policy matters. The BBC has been told that a number of these civil servants across multiple departments are preparing to submit their formal complaints. Of these complaints, some have already been submitted formally to government departments, while others are being readied. They cover a wide timescale, spanning from when Mr. Raab was a junior minister to his time in cabinet. Labour's deputy leader Angela Rayner said the scope of Mr. Talley's investigation should be widened, adding, "There must be no hint of a whitewash when it comes to the slew of serious allegations the Deputy Prime Minister now faces." Separately, BBC Newsnight has also been told that Mr. Raab received multiple warnings from officials not to use his personal email account for government business. Last month, Home Secretary Suella Braverman was forced to quit after sharing government documents using her private email. However, Mr. Raab has argued his use of private emails did not breach the rules, and that the ministerial code allows for it to be done in some circumstances. "I've always taken advice on the right means, particularly having been Foreign Secretary and dealing with a whole range of sensitive issues. I've always been very careful to protect the integrity of any communications I had," he said. Asked if he had been warned by civil servants not to use his own phone for government business, he replied, "No." A friend of the minister has told the BBC he used a private account on occasions for approving tweets and quotes related to government business. Liberal Democrats Chief Whip Wendy Chamberlain said the Cabinet Office should determine immediately if overseas enemies could have seen national secrets sent by Dominic Raab. A Downing Street spokesman said, "Ministers are able to use various forms of communication. As long as they take heed of that guidance, there is not a binary restriction on use of personal email addresses."